You know what I mean? Like we are seriously working. This is not a joke. It's not just for the podcast. But yeah, do you have any questions about your job description?
When you say accurately report and document incidents, children incidents, and I'm reporting them to you,
No,
or
not
I
children's,
send it to the family.
not children's incidents. So incidents meaning like anything, like you're going to be in touch with the family. So like if families make you aware of certain things, or if you have like a confrontational conversation on the phone with families, or like if you're at an event and something, like if you know how you're going to start going to the fairs and stuff, and like if something happens that's crazy that involves us like as a company at that event, then like make some sort of documentation about it. So and that could be some as simple as just sending me an email. Hey, I'm just letting you know that this, and this happened at this day and this time while we were here. You know what I mean? But obviously, it wouldn't be children's incidents because you're not going to be working in the classroom with the kids.
Okay. Um, are we going to be using CRM or Wix? Like, what platform are we going to like start using, go back to using to for me to keep track of families' information?
I think we're gonna move towards just doing it ourselves. I think over the years I've been like relying on or using different companies' CRM systems and stuff because I thought that's what would be best.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that it is best for people, but like I'm just enjoying, I think that I'm okay to do it myself using Wix, you know, and especially if you're going to be in this role where that will be your major responsibility, then like you will have the time to actually do things yourself. And Wix has automations as well. We'll go through that. I'm going to share my screen later on after we get through this part, and I'll show you like how we can set up certain things in Wix to make it easy to stay in touch with families.
Okay. Um, and then when it comes to parents who, of course, is a language barrier, I was wondering if it's possible to have two-person that's designated for them to like speak Spanish for me. Of course, I'm saying two because if the other person is not there, at least I have a second person. Like, because sometimes it's like, oh, so and so's not here. Okay, so who's gonna do it for me? I don't want to lose that Spanish speaking family, because there's no one to translate for me. Maybe we could designate each person at each center.
Yeah. I think that's going to be an easy thing to do. But like when you're, so if you don't know how to do this, I can show you how to use Grasshopper to like conference call. Have you ever done that?
I've done it. Yeah, I have. I've
Okay,
done it
yeah,
on accident, actually. I've done that on accident. I've done the on the phone until the person who I'm transferring the
right.
phone call picks up.
Yeah.
I actually hear them pick up.
Yeah, so I've done that as well where you can like add a conference call. So I would say that you should stay on the phone during whatever translation so it could be an immediate like back and forth. Oh, she said this or she wants to know this, especially if we're talking about someone like who's not really in administration and doesn't know the answers to a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Um, what else do you have as far as questions about the job?
That's it. Everything else, I kind of know what it will be like the reports. I'm sorry, we'll go back to the dev reports. When you say lazy on, I'm saying it wrong. Lays, oh,
Yes.
liaise.
Yes.
Um, NASA County
So
Department
yeah,
and OCFS and the school district. Am I going to be that contact person?
it just means that there might be times where you need to communicate with them, like maybe give them information about like well, like helping parents through the registration process, for example, with DSS. You might be calling the workers to if that's allowed. I don't know what the process is right now, but calling the workers to send them the capacity letter and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, and whatever else comes from, just in case anybody from those agencies need to speak with you or somebody about something, but you're not going to be like responsible for overseeing the compliance in the centers. It's just in case there's a question that you're able to help with, or send somebody something. That's why that's in there.
Okay. And the enrollment process will it still look like, for example, yes, I enroll the children, they start. If they need transportation, I'm going to follow through. I'm going to still be that person to contact the drivers and ask, well, what time works for them? Or am I leaving that part up to the directors to put them on the transportation routes?
I'm sorry, what was the question? Are you going to be organizing transportation?
Yeah, like so for example, when a new family's coming in and they want transportation, am I saying, oh, for example, Miss Rochelle, this family is enrolling on this day, at your location and need transportation. Is that up to Miss Rochelle, or am I following through saying, okay, let me be the one to contact the drivers to see what times
Yeah,
for them?
it would be you contacting the drivers to arrange that
Okay.
and to see if it's possible.
Okay.
So maybe you could, I don't even know if you guys are still using the
The tracking,
transportation
yeah, it's
schedule.
honestly been me. Yeah, we've been doing it's really been me. And then sometime like I'll ask Rochelle, be like, I see, for example, like picks up this person, like, is there that person still on transport? Because sometimes no one takes kids off. So I'll confirm who's still on there, who's not still on there, and I'll add kids myself. Because it's really more so the drivers knowing if it's possible or not, because they're the one that's actually doing the pickup and drop off.
Yeah. I'd like to eventually move towards like maybe once we get the fourth site open. If we're I don't know if we're gonna be doing transportation for the college. I can't see it being a huge need over there.
Mhm.
Even if it was, like, I think that would be like too much. Like to drive, that would be too far, I would say.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a lot in that area. I don't see it being a need to because of that location. Like it's clear that vehicles are probably 90% used. Like
Exactly,
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
maybe for Hempstead, um, as we continue to grow transportation, like I'd love for one of the drivers to have a greater responsibility of
I
like,
agree. Organizing that.
yeah, here's your computer, here's the, I just hope that it like goes well.
I think it's possible. It's definitely possible because they're the one that knows it the best. And honestly, when the drivers have spoken to me about that, they'll always say like, "You guys think it takes 5 minutes to get to this location, that location? You guys don't know. We should be the one doing it." And I'm like, "Yes, you guys should be the one. You know what kid you pick up. You know how many should be in a van. You know the parents saying what they need, what they don't need." And it's just could be that one person that be like, okay, van number one.
Oh, maybe it could be like a transportation
It
department.
is. It definitely is. It's the transportation department, and that's the manager of transportation. And we have, let's say, 3 or 4 vans. He's in charge of filling each and every route and make sure that the parents sign a transportation agreement first before putting them on the route, making the drivers aware, making at the end of the day, the manager's in charge and make sure all the vans are clean, all the vans are filled up on whatever day it's supposed to be filled up, document like a checklist. Yes, 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 baby.
If we or when we get to that point, then for now it would be you doing it. But when we get to that point, it could be like, oh, a parent is asking about transportation. Okay, well, I'll transfer you to the transportation
Just
manager.
like how we do with the billing department. Give me one now. It's not me looking up and go kangaroo time and see what the balance, or I'm texting you, hey, this person said that has your balance. Literally, there's one person that billing department. There you go.
Oh, you've been doing that?
I used to do that all the time. But there were times where I knew what to look for and be able to answer a question. There were other times where I'll text you, be like, what's the remember I used to ask you, like, oh, they saying they
No,
have a
I
look.
know, but I'm saying now you've been transferring the calls to
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it's what she's there for.
Isn't
Absolutely.
it nice?
It's a little taken back because then now I'm like, okay, is she gonna answer? Is they're gonna answer gonna get a question? Because now, before I'm like I could follow through on my own and it's good, but now it's just trusting everyone and doing their part. And so far it's been happening.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, last question. Registration forms, DocuSign. That would be Miss India. I would let them know, or I be the one to send registration forms?
Yeah, I do want to work towards you being the one to send registration forms. The only thing holding me back, to be very honest, is just trust.
I'm not surprised.
Trusting that you're gonna send them correctly.
I'm not surprised. Just be mindful. Be mindful. The only way to build trust is to teach me
I
through
know, I
practice.
know.
But
So
we don't listen, you don't have to
I am
say
gonna
today.
teach you.
Don't have to today.
Gonna teach you. I already did make a separate another DocuSign account. I actually had a meeting with our new HR person on Monday, and I was explaining this to her that how I've had three separate DocuSign accounts, one for each location, and I realized recently that like I could just have DocuSign has the ability to add folders, like you can have just like Google
Google
Drive.
Drive.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I could just have one DocuSign account and not pay for three, and then just create a folder, Roosevelt folder, Merrick folder, Uniondale. And
Necessary.
yeah, so I'm going to give, and with the new DocuSign account, I made like a generic email called manage, you know? So I'm going to give you and the HR person access to the DocuSign management account so that all of you can send the appropriate DocuSigns you need to send for whatever reason. So like the HR person would be sending DocuSign envelopes out to new employees, like for their new hire forms and all that stuff. You would be using it to send registration forms. India would be using it to send new schedule and tuition agreements and whatnot. So yes, I'll show you how to use it probably sometime next week. Um, uh, but yeah, that would be your responsibility. And I could set it up for like really the only thing that I change or do in the envelopes is the tuition number. Like you have to make sure that the tuition you're putting is the correct tuition, especially if it's multiple children, like you're totaling it up, you're putting specifically, is it per week, is it per month, is it in 7 week increments, and then putting the dates on it. Or and then also if it is multiple children, you have to make sure you're duplicating the pages of the registration
Oh, so
card.
it'll be three forms if it's three
Yes.
children. Okay.
Yeah. So all of that, like it's not hard. It's just you have to remember to like pay close attention to what you're doing. Which is
So
why it's great that you're home
tuition.
and from free from distractions because I
Yeah,
do feel like sometimes you rush through things,
I
you know,
do.
and you can't rush through things when it's and parents are signing off on something.
I understand. So, like, for example, like, let's say a parent has transportation, has tuition, and have extended PM care. So I'm doing a regular line for transportation, that amount. Then I'm going to add the transportation fee, and then I'm going to add the.
No, I'm not. Maybe we could change the form to break it down like that, but that's not what I do. I really just
No,
put
it doesn't show it. It just add the total number of all three line items.
no, I really just put the total, either the total tuition or the total parent fee, and then I literally type out plus any additional fees.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
but
I
I
think it should be like a line item.
Yeah, but the thing is that that changes. Like some parents, like they get off transportation later, or they want to add on extended PM, or they want to.
You just have to update the tuition and agreement form, which I think is appropriate. If it's changing, we should have documentation of the change.
You're right. Okay, we'll change the form. What other
If
questions?
you want to.
No, yeah, I think it makes sense. It's just been because it's been me doing it alone. It's just, but now I'm not doing it alone. So.
I'm here. We're all here, not just me. We're all
Yeah.
here.
So if it does so happen that parents need to change something in the future after you have sent them their original registration forms, then I guess that would be on India to send a new
Yeah.
schedule and tuition agreement.
Which is needed because look what we're dealing with Nicole Corella, who we never sent an extended PM for ever, and she was being charged that. So we
Yeah,
kind
but
of
that's
need
because
that.
she wanted it. And we just didn't send the form. But she's clearly been going back and forth with what she wants.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I want to say that's my question. Maybe a separate question will be maybe having the one question recently from a family was the forms being in Spanish, if possible,
I do think that that's something we can work on, but that would be,
down the line.
I can't do that myself.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, we could probably ask me to do it or hire a, like, there's like websites and services you can pay for to translate your forms and documents. I think I would
Mhm.
want to do that kind of with everything, like literally like our employee handbook, all of our employee forms, like, but that's obviously going
One
to
side
take,
English and the other side Spanish, like that.
well, yeah, different envelopes. Like here's this English version, here's a Spanish version. That would be cool.
Okay. And last question. It says plan and organize and execute events. So for example, the way we had the Valentine's Day dance, you would want me to continue to plan things like that.
I am so glad you brought that up because one of your first tasks with heavy pressure, because I was doing the summer field trip calendar today, and then I looked at the regular calendar on our website to see, what was I trying to see? I think I was trying to look at our closings, and I noticed that this Friday is Earth Day, and last Earth Day you put together such a beautiful event for, like, your Uniondale families popped out, and it was nice. Remember? You should do that again. It's on our calendar that we're having an Earth Day event, and none of us have talked about it. So I think that,
Hey, literally this Friday, the 20th.
yeah, in 2 days, 48 hours, you can
Danielle.
you can do it. We're gonna talk about it during morning meeting. During morning meeting.
Exactly why a couple weeks ago I no last month I was like, oh, let's let the summer thing. So don't
This is not
focus on
the
that.
summer. This is not summertime.
We also need to focus too because March
I was
31st.
doing that already. Yes, the summer calendar is halfway done. I already scheduled I scheduled the bowling, I scheduled the Queen's Zoo, I scheduled my mom scheduled the rolling video games, the Center for Science Teaching Learning, soccer shots, I'm doing mad science. I took off Green Apron because that was like over $1,000 per program, and all
That's
they
the
do
one we
is
make pizza and
decorate.
cookies.
That was the one that decorate ice cupcakes. Like we
The
could
one
go
that we
buy.
go to, we go to them.
No, they came to us and decorated.
Oh yeah, no, we could do that. We go to the dollar store, has icing and cupcakes and stuff.
And then I'm not going to do Snapology, which was also over $1,000 just for them to do the coloring page and
Yeah.
play with Legos. But there's just a few more places I have to confirm, and then I was going to talk about it during morning meeting today with everybody, so that, because another thing I want to do for the summer is, like, instead of trying to figure out who can come to us and do the special, like, things, like, we could just do the special things and, like, go buy the supplies, or go, put something creative together, a theme, a special theme for the day, rather than, like, trying to pay an outside.
I had did that. They had like fossil day and we went and got flour and I think dinosaur skeletons and the kids like and
Yeah.
in the dough, like something like that. And we got all this everything from the dollar store. Like it's definitely doable.
Yeah, and like that's absolutely, like, little activities that teachers want to do just special with their class obviously should still happen throughout the whole summer, but I'm saying something to put on the calendar that's like everyone
All
at
three
all
censor.
sites is doing this, so that our calendar can be full and you can clearly demonstrate to families, this is all the special things we're doing in the summertime.
Right.
It doesn't have to just be some extravagant, like, service that's coming in, or thousands of dollars to go on a trip. But we are doing, so far I have the four trips, or is it five trips on the calendar already. And I think I'm adding one more. But back to Earth Day, which is Friday and not in the summertime.
You might be surprised. I'm sure some might have something up her sleeve, so we could talk about it. If nobody has anything planned, I'll immediately think of something. The only thing I could think of that I know is on hand very quickly is we
What
have
did you do last year?
we had parents come in and
Oh,
paint
I bought the seeds.
and seeds, yeah, plant, but we have a little bit of soil because they just did a project, soil and seeds, I want to say, and then we have parents come in and paint the pot with their kids and do the whole planting, and we have put them on the table. And it's funny too because one of the parents before graduation, I want to say, I was asking about the plant and how it was doing if it was growing. None of them plants grew. Okay, and then Rochelle, I think Rochelle also had a great idea of painting the garbage can, or was that recycling day?
I don't like that. I didn't like the garbage can in front of the center. It looked like garbage itself.
You're so mean.
Sorry. It didn't look like
Children did
anything.
it. Children put their magic touch on it.
Well, if that happens again, it can go in the back of the building because it looked like somebody just littered their trash can in front of our building.
But yeah, if they don't have anything planned, it would just be rushing to get everybody's soil, the pots that you're able to paint, and then extending the invitation to families, and then where we're gonna do it, what's the weather looking like. It's doable, but man,
Actually supposed to be a very beautiful day. Oh, we're not going to be there.
that's why I wasn't planning on being there on Friday at
Oh,
all.
well, the event is not until late. Like, we could definitely go in the morning. This could be a morning activity, and then we're going
It's
like
71 on Friday. It's 71 degrees. We could have it for maybe for a like
you
do
don't have to be there. Like, you're not the person to run the events in the center because you're only one person and we have multiple sites. The
yeah.
directors can do it, but like you would be in charge of like making sure that it's happening and then also notifying the parents like through tadpoles and emails or phone calls or whatever, but just spreading awareness that this is what's going on and this is what's happening.
Okay.
Um,
We could like talk about it, figure out like lock down what we're actually doing, and then see what supplies we need. Get that going, and then I contact the families, and then we'll just take it from there.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more in a few minutes when everybody clicks in. Um, but yeah, so your question that led to this conversation was like, would you be planning events? And yes, those types of things. So like if we look at the our calendar on the website, we have a number of different things throughout the year that causes that we want parents to participate in. So Earth Day is one of them. We whenever we have those like okay, this is for Mother's Day, muffins with mom, that would be your next thing to focus on Friday,
Oh, May 12th.
May 12th, like, because the Mother's Day is coming up, we want to make sure that we have something special for the kids to do with their parent, with their mom, or grandma or auntie
Am
or
I doing a
whoever.
workshop? Am I doing the workshops too?
You wouldn't be hosting well, yeah, you wouldn't be like teaching the subject of the workshop, but yes, you would be making sure that the workshop is happening, like coordinating with whoever the speaker or presenter is and making sure that, like I said, like that they're happening. I think for the workshops um we can do we don't need to have one at every center like that same day. Maybe we could cycle through like where they happen. You know what I mean? So all parents from all centers, if they're interested in this workshop, they can go to Roosevelt on this day. And then in a couple months, when we have the next workshop, they could go to Merrick on that day. Cause I just don't feel like we're gonna have enough families interested to come. Do you know what I mean?
I don't.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. Then maybe it will change like once we start actually doing it consistently and doing it more families will show up if we incentivize them. But I don't know. What do you think?
Um, I think we need to incentivize them. Um, and they'll come out. But I definitely think it plays into letting them know as early as possible and continuously to remind them, because the 7 touch thing that you mentioned is really, it does really work.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm also looking at the calendar. You have like donuts with dad, but it's also early dismissal that day. It's early enough to move that because that's the day we're supposed to leave for the
I
cruise.
moved it to that day on purpose because before it was actually on Friday, and obviously now we were closed. So and Father's Day is that Sunday, the 18th. So I moved it there in hopes of like they would come have their donuts and then take their kids home. You know, they
And
would
now
just be
a big
coming.
risk.
Well, how is
That's
it
a big
a risk?
because they linger. People have to be
But think
where
of
we
it this
gotta
way, huh?
where we gotta live in the city. Is it the city?
Yeah, but honestly, I'm not even too worried about like us missing the boat or whatever because everybody's not coming, you know? So like if we did have to leave with
Oh, the staff
like
is
if there
going to
were
stay
kids
behind
that
with
were
the
still
family.
yeah, or not with the families because the event will be over within like an hour or
Yeah,
so.
she'll
Yeah,
figure
it's
that
gonna
out.
be fine. Literally not everybody is coming, and if they're the only reason I'm saying that is because if there are like 2 or 3 kids that happen to linger past 11 o'clock, which is the early dismissal time, there's definitely going to be more than enough staff who should be available to stay with them to like make sure that they get dismissed to the right person. But anyway, if what I'm saying, why I moved the donuts with dad to that day and time is because um it would serve as a dual purpose for like because if we move it to a different day where it's not an early dismissal that week, that means that the dads would have to take time off work twice, probably. To one time for the donuts and second time for to pick up their kids early. This way it's just
They were gonna have to do it anyways. Let's
no,
say
they
we didn't.
weren't. Because it's what I'm saying is it's Father's Day. Like, why not just put it all in the same day so that if they're gonna take off work, they could take off work because they have to watch their kid, and then they could bring them to this special event for Father's Day.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I just want to make sure like everyone we're not responsible for people not making it to the city on time. That's all that I'm worried about, but I know I'll be there on time.
No, I there's not that many. Yeah, it'll be fine. And we can ask again during morning meeting like what everybody else thinks. But like if we put it any I'm just concerned with either parents not the dads not showing up because they can't get the time, you know, they don't want to take too much time off or continue to go into work late or whatever. I'm some of them could figure it out, but I feel like it would be best to like combine the two and knock it all out in one day. But anyway, yeah, so the donuts with dads is something else. The workshops is something else. If we do decide to do like a workshop at one location instead of one at all location on the same day, then I guess you could attend those workshops and like just show your face as the parent coordinator, but not necessarily you're not hosting, you know, or like doing whatever presentation, you're just there. Um and then other things would be like graduation is something else that you would have a big part in. Um, and yeah, those little events. And then also like when we're doing enrollment building events, like how we have special events on the weekend, sometimes like for Halloween or for um our fall festival or the trunk or treat or what else have we done? What else have we done on the weekend? I feel like we used to do.
That's
Um,
pretty much it. But everything that you mentioned, I've kind of been doing it already. But no, that's pretty much it. We did like the Walmart fair, the trunk or treat. What
Yeah,
I
going
I
to events is something different, but like I'm wondering like what I feel like we've done more stuff on site in like
No, we did mostly workshops in the beginning, and then we did like the trunk or treat at Uniondale, then we did the fall festival at Merrick.
oh
Um
the holiday concert. Holiday concert and whatever events like things that we've opened to the public, I guess.
okay.
Um Yeah, and then of course, yes, you going to the back to school fairs and the different community events would be something that you do as well and like organize what is it that we're going to incentivize people with to give us their contact information and what are we going to give away and like who's going to come help you and all of those things.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Any other questions about the job description?
But I'm sure if I do, you won't mind me sending you an email or asking.
Yeah. So I also wanted to go over hold on templates.
Huh?
Templates. Oh, this is I think the skating place. Hold on. Hello.
Hi, this is Jen in United States. How are you?
Sorry. See, I'm working on on the trips.
Okay.
I plan to have this done by tomorrow and up on the website. Um, but yeah, for templates. So let me, I guess we can go into Wix and I'll show you like we can just quickly look at the back end of things and how we can take a deeper dive later. As long as you're on top of moving families over to the different stages of the pipeline, then we could just let the WIC system work for us. If a parent schedules a tour and then doesn't ever register and now 3 days have passed, maybe we could set up an email that automatically goes out to that parent if they're still stuck in that pipeline that says, hey, you came for your tour, but you didn't come back, like, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Um, so I think that's something we could do, but you just have to make sure that every morning you're like on top of your pipeline. Like maybe the first thing you do for the day and the last thing you do for the day is check to make sure that everybody is in the right place on the pipeline so that the wrong automations are not going out.
Okay. What is our list going to look like, or what is that going to look like?
That's a great question. Maybe that's something you can think of over the next like week. Like try to create some sort of um uh strategy for how we're going to manage the wait list.
Okay.
Um I will give you maybe there's something within Wix that we could use already. Um that maybe
Track of it the same way how you know how you said like within Wix maybe you could figure out a drive for like Merrick Roosevelt. I would want it to be the same way with the wait list. And then I would want it to be where we actually charge like 1 week of tuition and then keep track of when they're up next, like physical, like I'm looking every day or like certain time in a month, I'll check to see what child's getting ready to graduate or move up to see which child will automatically be next and then start continuously inquire, like make that family know, like, oh, in 3 weeks you're gonna start, in 2 weeks you're gonna start. Oh yeah, 1 week you're gonna start. And then if they don't come, it's not refundable and they have 2 weeks to enroll or we move forward on the next person on the wait list.
yeah. I don't think everything that you said is great except the 1 week's tuition. I don't think I would charge that for a wait list, at least not yet, because especially not if we don't know. If we know for sure we don't know when a spot is going to open, then it would be, I would think, unfair to charge them for a full week and just sit there because some parents might be stuck on that wait list for months and months
But
or
the goal is how we're gonna have them come back and enroll.
I think we can
need like
charge them. We can charge them something, but the incentive to come back and enroll is that we're the best option, and anything else that they're going for is just settling. So we just have to be great about our marketing and our communication to them, which is why you're in the position you're in with being able to reach out to them frequently throughout the waiting process, like to touch base with them. And I think your idea of saying like, oh, you've only got a couple weeks left, or you're just checking in. Do you need anything? Remember, you need a blanket and diapers and whatever, would be good. But I think that's excellent for families where we know, like, for example, at Merrick, we've got 3 kids right now in the toddler room that are holding up several babies from coming in, or several new kids from moving over because of their ages. And we know for sure that those kids have been with us for years. They're not going anywhere. They're not leaving anytime soon, most likely, but it's just a waiting game. And in that case, for new families that come in, you can say to them, like, okay, you would have to be on the wait list. We do have a spot opening up in June. On June 1st, this spot is yours. And then from now until June 1st, you can maybe touch base with them on every other week at first, and then like once a week as we get closer. But for families where it's like it's the baby room and all of our babies are babies and there's no chance that they're getting in, like we'd probably have to put them in a different category or figure something else out for them.
Yeah, I just want our wait list to actually be an actual wait list where we charge and parents actually start when we reach out to them, instead of saying like, oh, they're not interested no more, because now they're just sitting there. And I do want an incentive and of course great marketing to keep us on their brain, but also for it to be like, I put this X amount of down, like I'm enrolling, like I'm coming back. And on top of that, they've been so great in keeping in contact with me,
But what
we could
happens if we like don't have, like, they can never enroll because we don't have the space?
never say never. Kids' birthdays come and go. I've literally had parents, if they had just waited, would have started. I've had a parent who would wait and then disappear, and then a parent inquire a week later and they start right away. You just got to be patient, and this is what you really want. And during that time, we're going to keep nudging and marketing and reminding them why we're good. But then
Why don't we do like, because I understand that, and I do agree with charging something, but like I don't agree with charging if we don't have a projected date, because it's not if it's not dependent on a birthday or moving up, then really we're just like, oh, if somebody disenrolls, then you can come in.
That's different. That we can't control.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So maybe we can have a wait list where we know the dates, like this, like one category of you're in by this amount of time, like, or we can say if you have if you're able to enroll within 3 months, and we know that for sure, then yes, you have to pay a deposit for like a wait list.
We would know that. We wouldn't tell them that though. We would do the math, like, oh, they're able to start on this day, so we're gonna make this family pay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make that aware to family, because then they're gonna be like, why? No, that's not fair. What's in your policy? No, that would be to our.
We can make it a policy that, like, if we know the date you can enroll and it's within 3 months, then you must pay. If it's not within if it's not within 3 months, and then I don't know what kind of list we'd call it, like a maybe list. Like, because this is the wait list. You're in line over here, but over here you're just watching.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. What can we call it? Like a wait list and like prospects? I don't know. I'll look something up, because I think it would be helpful for us, like, to seriously be organized. Yeah. And actually Tadpoles has a wait list option. I don't know if you ever looked at that. If we do take somebody's deposit and also like like have them pay and join the wait list, we can enter their information into Tadpoles and put them on the wait list and put a start date, because Tadpoles has that function, which is cool. And we'll automatically see like who's coming in. Like if Wix, what I'm saying is if Wix can't do it, then Tadpoles can.
I agree. I agree. But I think it's definitely a system that we can use since we're starting new, and then we could just see how it works for us.
Yeah. I wanted to also talk to you about like the Debs reports again and the checking in with current families and whatnot, but everybody's in the waiting room. So maybe we could stay on after, or we could talk more on Friday or tomorrow.
Okay.
But thanks for listening, everybody, to Drop Their Sights and Sounds.
I can't, you know, I forgot.
Good, good. Oh, people are clicking out. Let me let them in. But yeah, if this ever does make it to an actual episode, honestly, we didn't film this week, so I feel like this is a good substitute. You got a little peek into
My new job description.
yes, and like how we kind of work together virtually, I guess.
You're gonna have to do a lot of editing on that one.
I know.
No comment.
Let me stop the recording. Bye guys.
Bye.